He and his mop of black hair exited stage right while I turned off the hi-fi and went to the door. I'd never exactly kept a welcome in the hillside for Mum and Dad, yet they seemed surprised by my expression when I met them on the doorstep. "You could at least pretend to be pleased," Mum said. "I am pleased. I just wasn't expecting you." "So, this is the latest abode, is it?" Mum's gaze scuttled past me as she squinted through the dark hallway. Trouble was, last time they'd seen me, I'd been moving into one of those neat, airy houses in the Hendra Island student village. House 9, my lucky number. A half-year down the track, and it had dawned on me that 9 never had been that lucky. Me and Uni were not happy bedmates, it turned out. And along with the student status, my grant money dried up, and my housing options became more modest. "So, did you want to come in?" I asked. I kept the door half shut, ever the optimist. "We didn't drive an hour from Cardiff to go straight home again," Mum said, and she wiped her feet, gave me a kiss, and stepped inside. Ours was one of the brooding, crumbling Victorian houses perched halfway up Constitution Hill, the steepest goddamn incline in the whole of Swansea. We could just about see the Vetch from my room, and when City played at home, we got the full roar of the crowd. None of us knew each other. Not really. We'd all ended up there through friends of friends, I think. But for 4 guys who didn't know one another from Adam, we got on pretty well. Maybe even got to like each other in a careless, couldn't-give-a-shit kind of way. The ground floor was out of bounds to us, so I shared the upstairs with a mouldy, sub-zero kitchen and Minto. He was a head case, was Minto, but he mostly kept himself to himself. If you managed the final lung-sucking ascent to the top floor, which hardly anyone did, you'd find Stobes and Black, tucked away like a pair of grubs in their tiny attic rooms. As for me, I'd managed to land myself the best room in the place. A huge space with 2 massive windows and crick-your-neck ceilings. There were no shelves, barely any sticks of furniture, really, so all my abandoned college books were lined up tight against the skirting board like soldiers on parade. The one rickety table I owned was dwarfed by the huge room, but it had just enough space for my 12-inch telly. As soon as I brought Mum and Dad through the hallway, I spotted the telltale flare of Mum's nostrils. If she found the smell on the ground floor unpleasant, I figured she'd need a gas mask by the time she got to my room. Dad trailed behind us in his golf club blazer, which he kept pressed and ready for weekend outings. I'd never imagined my place being on his list of must-see destinations, but at least he'd made the effort. There seemed to be less of Dad lately. Where once he used to puff out his chest and stand tall and proud, now his body had reduced, sunk back on itself like he had a slow puncture. As we started up the stairs, there was an almighty thud. Minto's voice cut through the gloom above us. "Don't you ever try that again, you little slut. Now piss off." There was a slap, then the slam of a door. The 3 of us hovered, gripping the dodgy banister. "I'm sorry," I heard Sindy say. "I didn't mean to. Please, can I come back in?" I was becoming used to this kind of thing. Since Sindy'd become a household feature, there was more drama at our place than there was on Dallas. Mum was suddenly in front of me, heading up the stairs 2 at a time. "Oh," I heard her say. "Oh, Lord. Are you all right, love?" By the time I caught up, Mum was crouched in front of Minto's closed door. I couldn't see anything of Sindy beside the outstretched stick of her leg. "Hurry up," Mum said to me, turning around. "Close your eyes. Go and get your duvet or something to put around her. Don't look." She formed a makeshift barricade with her arms and stayed there, all lipstick and skirt suit, hunkered down on the threadbare carpet. In my room, I was about to pick up my duvet, but remembered Sindy's body odour problem. Instead, I grabbed an old throw from the chair and chucked it in Mum's direction. "Now put this around you. You're all right," she said. "No need to cry, love." Minto's door opened, and as I ventured back into the hall, I was just in time to see Minto shove past Sindy before he tore down the stairs. There was a "steady on" from Dad just before the front door slammed. "Come on, love, let's get you up," Mum said. Sindy was in tears again. She looked like a Dickensian waif,